you will continue to give us that support. Because we believe we are one, irrespective of wherever we come from, irrespective of our identities, irrespective of our nationalities. We're common people that work for the resources. We are the one that make the economy grow. We are the one that make things happen. And we shouldn't be the one that will continue to suffer. We have some few minorities continue to feed fat. This must come to an end. I enjoy your support. Thank you so much. And I believe Nigerians are at home there.
New York is Nigeria. Nigeria is New York.
Nigeria is New York. When I came out yesterday, several people from Nigeria had just gotten off the plane or was just heading on the plane back. They asked me and the few people from Occupy Wall Street for guidance and support on how to lead their struggle. I said, we need guidance and support from you. Their struggle is at a different level than ours. Certainly, both of us can teach each other a lot. Someone who can certainly teach us a lot is the first gentleman who approached me yesterday, Tino.
Hello, everybody. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I'm not thanking you for your presence here. I'm thanking you for caring. I'm thanking you for the fact that you care and you want to do something and you want to change what's going on. But first of all, let's talk about the issues. What are the issues? Why are we here? What is going on?
Tell them.
Now let me tell you what's going on in Nigeria. There are diseases that have been cured already that are still killing people in my country. Kids are being born with polio. Can you imagine that? The kids are still being born with polio. Can you believe in certain cities, the city I'm from, my capital city, when you fly in an airplane, they use a cell phone from the airplane to call to the control center because the government took the money and never built the control center. We've got schools, you know, and you've got these oil companies. I'm an Urobo man, that's why I wore these clothes. A lot of people have been fishermen for 300 years. But these companies like BP, like Shell, you know what they do? They pollute this land. They have oil spills, so it's killing the fish. We don't have a water source. And they're coming to these communities, they do not develop this community. We need to stand up to the World Bank. We need to stand up to IMF. Because these financial institutions, what they're doing is they're lending money to corrupt leaders, knowing fully well that these corrupt leaders would never give this money to the people. We need to stand up and tell them, listen, don't give us no money. We don't need your aid because your aid is trouble. Because your aid is problem. Your aid does not lead to education. It does not lead to infrastructure. It only goes into pockets. You've got politicians. You got politicians with private jets who fly all over the world. They fly and watch Chelsea matches and Arsenal matches and all these things, fly all over the world. And the average Nigerian works hard for 10 days and makes less than $2 a day. You're dealing in a country where if you get shot, in America if you get shot, you pick up the phone, you call 911. In Nigeria if you get shot, if you don't get to the hospital, you die. It should not happen. It should not happen. It should not happen. It should not happen. People, we need to stand up. We need to write people. We need to put pressure on every single person. The United Nations, the oil companies, these banks, because they're raping us of our resources. Can you imagine in Nigeria, that Nigeria, one of the biggest producers of oil, imports oil for Nigerians to buy? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That gas is more expensive in Nigeria to Nigerians than it is to the next country? Oh, let me blow your mind. Can you imagine that in the history of Nigeria, since we got independence, There has never been electricity for 24 hours a day all through the whole country.
Never.
In the history of Nigeria.
Never.
It has never happened.
Never.
But guess what? Nigeria supplies electricity to 4 African countries. In those 4 African countries, there's electricity 24/7. But within Nigeria, there's no electricity. You got the government spending money. They spend 74% of the Nigerian budget is spent on the government.
People in government.
Well, basically that's what it is. The people in government.
It's not government.
You know, the politicians, the leadership has failed us. And we're asking for everybody to come together and let's support. Let's write these companies. Let's use our social media, our Twitter, our Facebooks, our Tumblrs. Let's speak out. We will not allow them. We will not allow them to do this to us. We must stand up because people are dying. Can you believe in a country of 170 million people that you have 40% of the population within the age of 10 and 40? You got people going to college who have multiple degrees, but they can't work. They can't work. There's nothing for them to do. There are no opportunities for them. Let us stand up. Let us stand up.
You want to help?
Let us stand up to all these financial institutions who have been raping us and who have been taking advantage of us. As of 1979, it was 50 cents of Nigeria's money for $1 American dollar. Right now it is $1 American dollar is 106 naira. Please, let's fight, people. Let's fight. A quick announcement. On Saturday, we're going to be. We got one of the biggest stars from Nigeria. He actually walked with fellow son in the protest back in Nigeria. We just got him out of the country. He's in DC. We'll be here on Saturday, and we're going to be. We're going to be in front of the United Nations. We're going to make sure they get the message. Please, keep on doing what you're doing. At 12 on Saturday. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Even though I've spoken fight. But this time around, I just want to also be part of this thing within my heart. I'm from my heart. I'm from the northern part of Nigeria. I'm a Hausa. And I'm going to speak shortly just to send a message. I know there's a lot of agents all over the places around the world. But the purpose of doing this is for them to be able to send the message so that back home, so that our voice can be heard. Because this voice that raised here is echoed beyond the living people of the state. So, mika wannan sako zuwa ga gwamnatin Najeriya da abokanan gwamnatin Najeriya da masu waya ma'aikatan Najeriya aiki su sani cewa halin da mutanen Najeriya suke ciki a wannan lokaci hali ne matsakaicin hali ne wanda mutane suna mutuwa, gwamnati bata damu da jama'a ba abinci yadda ya kamata mutane su samu, ba ingantaccen hanyoyi, babu asibitoci, babu makarantu, babu ilimi yadda ya kamata mutane su samu. Wannan magana gaskiya ne, jama'a gaba daya Najeriya sun san da haka. Saboda haka ne dalilin da ya sa mutane suka yi yunkura akan fishin da suka yi abin da gwamnati ta yi cire musu wajen amfanin da suke ci na game da harkar mai da ke Najeriya. Because of that, what I shortly said is the message is to be able to be sent to Nigeria by the Nigerian government, the agents of Nigeria, and the powers of Nigerian government. That Nigerians right now they are suffering their pain. The pain of Nigerians will continue to be spread because of what the government is doing right now. We are calling government with our big voices, with our large voices, with our strong voices.
Part of my life.
Whatever is going on right now, the government should stop it and listen to the people's voice. Because you have to be careful. You have to be careful. People's voice is going together and mixes it in. You never know what kind of support is going to come. Thank you very much. And do not forget to participate and attend with your solidarity, with the love that you have been given and support from the United Nations in order to send them the message on Saturday at 12 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Before you go, it's very important that sometimes you don't understand what we are going through, but we draw parallels between what happens in Nigeria and here. All of you were aware of what the IMF president did at Sofitel Hotel, right? That is what they do to Africans. They screw Africa, and Africans run away to become hotel mates, right? And then the IMF president lodged in the hotel again, and they screw you the second time. That is how Nigeria has been treated over the years with the so-called structural adjustment program. You imagine that if the structural adjustment program works, why did it not work in the US? Why did it not work in the United Kingdom if you are so smart? Why did it not work in Italy if you are so good? Why did Germany have to go and borrow or beg to borrow money from Angola if structural adjustment programs work? The truth is that all these programs, as they call them, they don't work. They don't work for the proponents. They don't work for the people at the receiving end of it. It is all a scam. That is why these scumbags must be sent out of town. That is why these terrible economic policies must be dismantled and permanently abandoned. You know, I want to just sing a song that I love about a lot, which is the song of Bob Marley. And that's the redemption song. And I'll just sing half of it, which says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No more than can be our minds. Have no fear for us to be energy. Because some of them can't stop the time. For how long shall they kill our brothers while we send the silent look? Won't you help to say? Raise up your hands. What's up? Oh, I've never had redemption song. I hope you're warm now, right? I have a brother here. A message of solidarity.
Great New York. Great New York. I'm so glad to be here to talk to you on what is happening on what is called Nigeria. First and foremost, it was constructed by the British for their own selfish interests. Nigerians went on Nigeria came together to form what is called Nigeria. Since 1963 and 1960, it was saying that we had independence. Since that time, they've been manipulating the politics of what is called Nigeria. They tried to pitch one tribe to the other.
I want picture of the one with the doctor. I want picture of need them.
According to the Biafrans, there are those in the West.
I don't know.
So right now, for the first time, under the military regime,
checking the format IMF
without consulting the public. We protested with the force when they wanted. Some of us were national leaders before we came here. I was national promotion officer for NAS, National Association of Nigerian Students. I was there wanted with many other people. Finally, we had to escape. The US and the United Nations brought us here for asylum, asylum, so to speak. So at the end of the day, what happened? Many people have been running away after June 12 crisis. But should Abiola won the election, so since that time, they created what we call a cabal that continue to ruin and run the society. What does that mean? A cabal is a group of people. They pick them from the east, from the west, from the north, and they head themselves with their families. They use that money to buy properties in Europe, they buy properties in Switzerland, they buy properties here in the US, New York City, Connecticut, Boston. They buy properties with public funds, and people are living in poverty, massive poverty. We think it's criminal, we think it's evil, we think it's very satanic. And for that reason, that's why people are protesting and we support them here. Because we started the same movement when we are back home. The same will have to continue until people are free. Either we are together or the place should be divided. There's no point being together when we are killing each other. There is Islamic movement in the north, killing and bombing and destroying properties. They bombed the Union building in Abuja, and over how many killed? Over 120 was killed. The official report says 23. That was false information. Media that bombed the building before that. And then on October 1st, we are killing and bombed. Today, as we speak, there is killing and better killing going on. But we are telling you, we are giving information through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They are sending information to us here, and we are trying to let you know what's going on. People are dying. We don't like the situation. We have no government, please. There's no government in what you call Nigeria. It does not exist. The people never elected them. The election was rigged in 2007. The election was rigged. There was never an election conducted. So they put on their own guy, one of Passenger, who was a military dictator, who ruled from 1999 to 2007, and Big Yara-Dua, who was sick, and then when he passed away, they brought in Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan. As we speak, there's no infrastructure, zero, none at all. They have no roads. There are potholes everywhere. You can't move from Lagos to Abuja without actually running into potholes. Yes. What is happening is that our money are being stolen. Subsidy. In fact, the issue of subsidy does not even exist to start with. It was a planned process where government agents from the west or from the east are being planted. They said they will supply oil. Could you imagine Nigeria that has oil? We pump 3.5 million barrels per day. 3.5 million barrels per day. No accountability. No refinery. Only 4 refineries. Our population is over 180 million. Plus 180 million. When they say 160, some 750, there's no census. There are no accurate figures. They manipulate their own self-interest. That's what we're going through. I shouldn't be here. I should live like a prince in my own life. But I'm here working to service the economy. My economy is dying. So I'm here working. You have institution. There's no police. There's no military. There's no intelligence agency. They're all corrupt. They're all corrupt. The subsidy, for instance, let me speak about subsidy. For instance, actually initially there's no subsidy because it's being manipulated by the government and their cronies. They go in there, they say they supply how many tanks? 15 tanks on Lagos Port. You go there, according to CBN governor, Lamido Salami, he says that paper trail shows that people claim that they supplied oil, but there was no oil supplied. In Lagos, the tanks can only carry 3 to 5 tanks supplied to Lagos. But in record, they show up to 10 to 15 tanks supplied. It never existed. My point is that we have no government, people are being killed, and we are killing each other because the cronies, the cabals, push people against each other. So we either call a national conference for people to choose whether they want to be together or not. In the east, there's what you call women for Biafra. They want to separate before the civil war in the 60s. Over 3.5 million Biafrans were killed in the 60s. Today they still want to be free from the whole nonsense called Nigeria. In the west, there is OPC who wants to be free. They want to have their own republic away from Nigeria. In the north, where he came from, there is what we call the Boko Haram. They want Islamic State. So you can't force people to be together when they want to be together. There's no point doing that. Here in the US, you vote freely. Here, there's no vote. They don't vote, they rig the election before the election. In fact, someone is elected before the election is even counted, when the votes are being counted. So the point being that we have to continue to support our people back home. We are protesting, and that's why we are here, okay, in unity as a people, and we want you to support us in our movement, please. And that's what we're doing. So we say, please.
Solidarity
just want to remind you that this is a collaboration between Occupy Nigeria and Occupy Wall Street. We are here supporting each other. This is not some kind of alcoholic anonymous as they have made it sound. This is a movement of real, genuine people. And we are fighting together, and together we must be free. So I'm calling on our brother here who had organized the group that organized yesterday's invasion of the embassy. By the way, this embassy will soon be liberated and it will belong to the people of Nigeria. And when it does, it will have electricity because it doesn't have now, and it will have water supply it doesn't have now.
Wow.
So it's part of the shame.
Wow.
Yes, we are washing our laundry in public so that it can be clean.
Wow.
Here will give you solidarity.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We as a postal where it has become very ironical. The country that is the second largest producer of crude oil living below $2 a day. Made up of friends and cronies of those in government have taken over the destiny of Nigerians, but they are poised because of poverty. Saying that enough is enough. It's time for us to liberate our country, to free our country.
Could you be managers?
We have a very high maternal mortality rate because our hospitals are actually dispensing clinics. Our schools have failed to function because the Nigerian elites have ignored public school system and they have private universities that is so exorbitant that the common man cannot send their children and their world to school. Our roads have become dead traps. Millions of Nigerians die every day while they commute on these roads. It's really unfortunate, but we are saying that enough is enough. 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 The Nigerian president has budgeted over 1 billion naira just to feed himself. He don't have power supply in Nigeria. Nigerians rely on charity sex to provide power for themselves. People die every year as a result of carbon monoxide pollution and of course fire hazards. The Nigerian people continue to feed the greed and avarices of the Nigerian elites, and it's really very unfortunate that our president, Goodluck Jonathan, who is clueless and highly incompetent, has decided to take people for a ride. But the people have said now that we're not going to take this any longer. Millions of Nigerians move onto the streets of Nigeria, in the north, in the south, in the west, in unity, to demand liberation for Nigerians. For too long, we have been subjected to feeding the greed of Nigerian elites, and we are saying this will not continue any longer. Nigeria has 4 refineries that has a capacity of about 500,000 barrels for domestic consumption, but they failed, and what they've done is to undermine these refineries from working, and they chose to allow their friends to keep importing oil from the Western nations. So the Western nations continue to feed on the blood of Nigerians. Nigerians are anemic as a result of the insatiable thirst for oil in the Western countries. We see cars moving around in New York, but what do you have in Nigeria? People trekking. Niger Delta is destroyed because of the activities of Shell, and nobody seems to be concerned. There is a destruction of the Niger Delta economy as we speak. Now, we have oil spill, and it's going to take over 30 years to be cleaned in Nigeria. It's going to cost over $1 billion for the cleaning of Niger Delta, and nobody is talking about that. All they talk about is the continuous exploration of oil at all costs, ignoring the human cost on life of Nigerians. We are not going to allow that. We are going to take over our country, and this time, Occupy Nigeria is saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Nigerian woman, and she's from the organization Enough is Enough. Henry.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to start with singing our Nigerian song, what we always sing is Solidarity Forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
This struggle that we are fighting is not just about the price of fuel. It's about a government that has been inhumane in terms of treatment of its people. The Nigerian people live on less than $2 a day, or over 70% of Nigerians. And we have a government where the current 2012 budget release said that the Nigerian president will have a budget of $18,000 a day just to feed himself alone. And we are saying no. We want to join with you and say no. We are the Nigerian people. We need to eat. We need to have food. We need other things. You cannot just unilaterally raise the price of fuel. You cannot make policies without consulting the people. This is not just about the price of fuel. It's about democracy. It's about democracy being for the people, by the people, and with the people. It's not just about oil. It's about Nigerians taking control of the country and saying no more. We are no longer going to suffer. Nigeria has a very corrupt and inefficient government. Now they're trying to place the burden of their inefficiencies on the backs of the people. And we are saying no. You have to cut corruption.
That would take me probably
you have to cut
10
wastage.
years.
You have to stop being selfish and greedy. Nigerian people are not going to continue to suffer. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
We have one more. You know, as we all know, the first voice that we all heard when we come to this world is whose voice? Woman. Because of this voice is so important. Because of this voice, most of us become what we are today. Because of this voice that's following us, that's where we are, what we are today. Those voices are very important in our mix. Those voices needed to be heard around the world when something goes wrong. So as when something went wrong, when you are growing, the same thing now, the voice will change and will make a change. We want the woman voice to be heard now. Go.
We are very honored to have with us tonight Miss Nigeria Independence 2011-2012. Please welcome Lola.
I go by the name of Lola Olayoku. I was just crowned Miss Nigeria in past October 2011. It's an honor to be here. I was actually crowned here. I was crowned here in New York. Honored to be here today, to see so many people. It is an honor. I do have my family sisters here today as well, including me, Miss Edo. One thing I would like to say is that the voices of the youth do need to be heard, and that's why I'm here today. If it wasn't for the media, the Facebook page we have concerning all the issues within Nigeria, we would not be here today. We are the youth, we are the faces of tomorrow. We are for the youth, we are by the youth, and we are the voices that need to be heard. We are the future of tomorrow. So as a result, when our fathers and our mothers go, who will govern? It is us. When they go back to their country, who are they going to rely on? It is us. It's not even that they should rely on us. It should be our duty to pay back our parents for what they did to us. But how can we do that in a government in which is not supporting us? You have to think about it. You got to think about it for a second. Our parents came to America for a better life. Eventually, they want to go back to their country to relax because they have worked and they're tired. But how can they go back to a country in which they cannot put their feet up to rest because they need to continue to work in order to become comfortable? You cannot be comfortable in a government in which you're taking the money that you cannot enjoy. At the end of the day, we, the youth, we need to continue to go hard. We need to continue to let our voices be heard. We need to continue to support, not even if you're Nigerian, the youth in general. We just need to continue to work hard, stay in school, stay focused, and become the leaders of tomorrow in which we deserve to be. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you for your support. The youth, most especially, our mothers, our fathers, we thank you. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
We have one more lady that will speak to us, and she's right here. Her name is?
My name is Adusua Nabulele. I'm Miss Edo State 2011. Miss Edo State, and honestly, my state is in the southern region of Nigeria. We see everything that you hear about, fuel subsidies, everything that deals with oil, that deals with my state in addition to Delta State and all the other states in the southern region. And it is greatly appreciated that all of you guys are here to support us in Occupy Nigeria. Because as Miss Nigeria Independence stated, our parents are going back home. We are going back home. Our parents came here for a better life, and they were hoping that by the time Nigeria would have improved from the state it was about 20 years ago. I am 23 years old, and I find it saddening that still 23 years later, Nigeria has not improved to the capability it can be today. So I thank you guys for all coming for Occupy Nigeria. Please spread the word. The youth is the future. Revolution means change, and the change is coming now. There's no more time for games. There's no more time to sit around eating soup in a meeting and not doing anything about it. Now we need to eat the soup and actually do some business. Occupy Nigeria. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
This is Michelle. She's the former Miss Edo State.
Hi everybody, I just want to say thank you for coming. This is a struggle that has started in Nigeria, but we're grateful that it also happened here. And like just to make it back to Nigeria, it's all about the youth. We are the future. I think that the government, like we all know that they're having problems, but it's up to us to come up with the solution and unite. We can't fight when we're all scattered. There's so many different tribes. Nigeria has 250 different ethnic groups, and then there's religious tension. So if we at least unite for this cause, the fuel, the subsidized fueling, the corruption, there's so many different problems in Nigeria. It's time for us as people to keep our leaders accountable for everything that they're doing. Like the United States, if the president was doing what it was doing back home, it wouldn't happen. It can't happen because we keep our leaders accountable. So we have to start doing the same thing, start speaking up, start uniting. Because we're all one Nigeria, period. Whether you're Yoruba, you're Igbo, you're Edo State, you're from Bendel, you're Hausa, we're still Nigerian. So it's time for us to come together and stay together until we at least accomplish our goals so that our children's children can appreciate a better Nigeria. And that's why we're here. So Occupy Nigeria, enough is enough.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
So good to be next. We have one more person here who's gonna speak.
Yes, we just want to keep you engaged and informed that we are all part of this international struggle together. If you see me wearing the Nigerian bubu, it's not because I like the politicians who wear them. I'm wearing this in defiance of people who dress like this and think they are somebody. Because after this, I use it as a pajamas. It keeps you warm. But most importantly, I bought it because of the Sahrawi people near Morocco who are seeking for independence from Morocco, and Spain is supporting that oppression over there. So I use it to support them. I wear it as pajamas at night, and I wear it to disgrace the Nigerian politicians who wear it around thinking that they are somebody when they are nobody. Yes. So we have a priest over here. When you hear about pastors in Nigeria, you think that they help put people to sleep. But there are some of them that actually preach the word of God, which is the liberation of man, right? And he wants to talk about the issue We have told you too many times already that nobody is subsidizing anybody. You know also how it works over here. How, while you are under the burden of your homeland and survivor, the American government gives out all your money to the banks, and the banks went back to buy their jets and flying around with your money in their pocket, while you cannot even afford to pay your rent and pay for heat. So it's the same all over the world, but we have a priest here who is going to bless the struggle.
Great Nigeria!
Great Nigeria!
Great Nigeria!
Great Nigeria!
I want to add my voice to a number of those who have extended our appreciation to all people around the world who have joined us today and remain with us throughout this struggle. We came out here yesterday, other groups have been in Washington to do the same thing, and I want to let you know that the world over, Nigerians are running around themselves in solidarity. It is not about those who are home, who are not fortunate to come out. It is about all of us. It is about a struggle that defines who we are. Nigeria, from the day that nation was conceived, has been very unlucky with leadership. Beginning from colonial masters till today, we have been suffering from one disappointed tale of corrupt leadership. Every day, every new government comes up with the promise that they are the Messiah we are waiting to liberate us. But not long enough, they will disappoint us like others. Our politicians make mockery of us because of the bitter memories of civil war that people are still harboring in their minds. Because of the suffering many persons are going through, they think that we are so divided that we cannot unite. When the Arab Spring was going on, Nigerian legislators were saying it can't happen in Nigeria because they think that Nigerians cannot unite. We are so grateful to God that through Jonathan and his government, he has given us an opportunity to rally around ourselves. That opportunity when we have to claim power for ourselves. We want to say to the Nigerian people and the world over that the Nigerian people are their own liberators and the messiahship is in our hands. We want to let people know that what they call subsidy is not what the poor Nigerians created themselves. It was not the poor Nigerians who corrupted the oil sector. It was not the poor Nigerians who decided to import fuel. It was the greedy, rich, privileged few who will always extort the poor ones, and then they want to make us to suffer again. It is not about unseating Jonathan and his government. It is not about first subsidy removal. It is about a people who have decided that now is our chance. It is our chance to claim the power that belongs to us. I want to remind fellow Nigerians outside in diaspora that you may be safe wherever you are. You may think you are far away from home, but the suffering at home is your own suffering. If there is no peace at home, your own peace, your own happiness will be incomplete. And I want to let you know that the peace, the security, and the basics of life you are enjoying here in the United States, you are enjoying in Europe, you are enjoying in anywhere, was fought by men and women who at a time like this gave out their life to stand so that their future will be secured. It is a time that every Nigerian will come out. I am here because I am a priest. I am here because I am a Nigerian. And I'm here because what is suffering, what is happening in my country is touching me. I am not secure where I am because my people at home are not secure. And I want to let my people know that if Jesus is to come today in Nigeria, he will be on the street with us. Because it is a people that have been liberated. And I want to let you know that down home in Nigeria, back home in Nigeria, religious men and women, priests and clergy and pastors are on the street as well marching, asking God to come down now and show his face so that we will be liberated. I want to thank you and I want to let you know, even if they roll out their tank to crush us, let us march. Even if they gather anything against us, let us be on our feet. They will kill us, but we want to let them know that we prefer to die than to live in this type of inhuman condition.
Yes.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
So, as we go on tonight, we have a brother who actually made the connection between Occupy Nigeria and Occupy Wall Street. As our brother priest has said, if Jesus Christ were to come back tonight, he will be occupying Wall Street. Yes, because the kind of work we were doing on Wall Street, that was what we did in front of the temple. You know, when he drove all those crazy merchants out of town, or traders. It's the same kind of people on Wall Street that Jesus Christ came to cleanse. I am not religious, but I'm just saying for those of you who believe and who are religious, this is the kind of thing Jesus Christ will be doing. And I'm sure if Muhammad was to be here, who was pursued from Mecca to Medina, he will also be occupying Wall Street. So let's continue to occupy, occupy, occupy. I have Brother Shepherd here, who yesterday became a Nigerian.
30 years.
30 years, but finally he has become a Nigerian, and he's standing right here on Nigerian soil.
I know I've spoken a lot today and tonight, but I think one of the most important messages that Occupy Wall Street needs to hear, and Occupy Nigeria needs to hear as well, is that this is not over tonight. Our solidarity as Occupy Wall Street cannot be a one-day event. Look behind you at the Chrysler Building. This country is incredibly wealthy, and it has taken its wealth from the rest of the world. If capitalism and corporate greed can be a global system, then so can resistance. So, what we are going to do with Occupy Nigeria is we are going to take their leadership. When they organize an action or demonstration, we have to be there with them. They say that Chevron or British Petroleum or Shell or a specific bank is exploiting their people and collaborating with their government. We have to target that corporation. 12 years ago, we shut down the IMF and the World Bank in Washington, D.C. When they say that the IMF and the World Bank is keeping them down with austerity measures, we have to rise up and go to D.C. and shut down the IMF and the World Bank. Shut it down! The thing I want to say right now is this is not over. That it is not enough for us to come here. So we are going to continue the struggle with the leadership of the Nigerian people. Raise Nigeria! Raise Nigeria!
So one other thing that we do very much, and you know very much, is a different kind of guerrilla journalism. Now we report ourselves, because in Seattle they tortured you, they beat you down, the mainstream media was looking the other way. That was the part of citizen journalism. We are happy that we no longer rely on New York Times or CNN to report our news for us. We report through Facebook, Twitter, even telepathy, you know. Sometimes you hear your ear ringing, it's your people talking to you at home. But we have a great columnist here in our midst who writes to the conscience of people in power, and his name is Sunala. The message, he will give us a solidarity message.
Nigeria, great. I'd like to thank all of you for this opportunity. I have been writing about Nigeria since I was a teenager. I've been writing about corruption, transparency in Nigeria, better still, and lack of transparency in Nigeria. I have done that for almost 40 years. And nothing has changed. Just about 20 minutes ago, the first flight to leave Nigeria since Monday, the Delta flight, left Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. That flight should not even have gotten, let alone left. But some interesting circumstances that will become clear as days go by.
that flight has been able to leave. But it's interesting that it is the first flight out of Lagos since Monday. This is
Don't you have a home?
So far, Nigeria is grounded.
Yes.
That's the way that we like it. Because since October the 1st,
I'd like to check that out.
Nigerians have yearned for a country that they can call their own. But increasingly, culminating last week, on the 1st of January, Nigeria became less and less of a Nigeria of the people and more a Nigeria of the few. That is why today, as you all stand here, I consider this place, Nigeria House in New York, the ground zero of the internationalization of the struggle to ensure that justice is done for the people, not only of Nigeria, but of the world.
Yeah, so
And that the ordinary man and woman is as important an element in the country as those who run for office.
yes.
That each person is entitled equally to the resources of the people as anybody else.
Yes.
I am happy that we are here. I am sure that we can count on you, and you certainly can count on us. I would like to thank you very much for this opportunity to say a few words.
Let me warm you up again with another song which says "Water run away me eyes," which is a broken English word for water running through my eyes. Water run away me eyes, water run away me eyes. Aye, aye, water run away, water run away me eyes, water run away me eyes. Oh, aye, aye, water run away me eyes. When I remember Nigeria, water run away me eyes. Oh, aye, aye, water run away me eyes. When I remember Guantanamo, water run away me eyes. Oh, aye, aye, water run away me eyes. We have another brother here who is one of the youth leaders in the area who wants to give a solidarity message. We are not in a hurry to leave. We are occupying space. We are occupying another Nigeria in New York. So don't be in a hurry. This is our home. Feel free to hang out with us, and at night you can come in with me.
Thank you everyone for coming in here today. Let me say I stand in solidarity with our fellow Nigerians who are back home, who are occupying Nigerians and fighting for equal rights and justice. Let me say a few things. The Nigerian people, and especially every single African, will resist every form of colonial masters who are coming in the form of the IMF to tell Nigerians what to do. It's not going to happen. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
The IMF and the World Bank, they have made so many policies that have destabilized the economies of Africa and everyone in the third world, and those policies are still affecting us today. The IMF, under the presidency of Obasanjo in the early 70s, the IMF, under the same policy with Babangida, the IMF, under Abacha's regime, they destabilized Nigeria's economy, and they are coming again in the form of fuel subsidies. The Nigerian people will not subsidize the European recessions. It is not going to happen. The Nigerian people have been subsidizing the Nigerian government for far too long, and the Nigerian government have now been subsidizing the Nigerian people. Enough is enough. How can Jonathan tell us that we should subsidize? He's not going to subsidize food, but at the same time, he's allocating over 300 billion naira for generators for himself. It's not going to happen. We've had enough. How can Jonathan allocate billions of dollars, billions of naira for food, while the Nigerian people live on less than $2 a day? We have had enough. And again, we stand in solidarity with Nigerians we are standing firm and we demand that the Jonathan administration, President Badluck Ebelechukwu Jonathan, reverts his decision and goes back to the pre-January 1, 2012 subsidy. If you look at Venezuela, if you look at Iran, if you look at every other nation that produces oil, they all subsidizes their people. Even the American government subsidizes gasoline for us. So there is no reason why in Nigeria, when we have gas and fuel, that the government cannot subsidize its people. Enough is enough. I'm going to be here until Ebelechukwu Jonathan, until he comes to common sense and realize that what he's been doing is wrong for the Nigerian people. We are not going to take it. And we demand that the International Monetary Fund ceased from bringing about bad and injustice to the Nigerian people. We do not want their advice. They should take their advice and go back to The Hague. We've had enough of it. Their advices have not done anything for us. Nothing whatsoever. And I do not understand why common sense is not reigning in Nigeria. So thank you very much for coming, and we are going to be here occupied. Thank you.
So,
point of correction. Not just Jonathan. The entire government, 6 state governors, agreed to remove the subsidy, not just Jonathan. It's an individual. The assembly, they were all informed. They agreed, they colluded together to remove it. So it's a collusion of this cabal that call themselves government. So that's what they do. So Jonathan.
So we have a sister here, and before she comes on, it's also important to remind you that this struggle is not just a struggle about commodities, it's a struggle about climate change as well.
Yes.
Because the more gas is taken out of Nigeria, the more the ozone layer is destroyed, the more we are all endangered because our earth is being scorched by corporate greed. And if we don't fight corporate greed, if we don't fight the oil companies, you better start learning how to swim because the world is about to come under the water. You know, you better know that now. We have a sister here who has been fighting against colonialism and neo-colonialism. And whatever form it has come through, you know, I met her in the university in 1989 at the struggle where she told the vice chancellor of our university to shove it. And she has been doing that ever since. She has only graduated from telling the vice chancellor, now telling the World Bank and the International Monetary Fraud. Don't call them fund, it's a fraud.
Yeah.
It's a fraud, yes. And Sister Afyong is going to give you a powerful
struggles today. It is true that today we stand in front of Nigeria House, which is the Nigerian embassy in the US, and that, you know, we're in the midst of a wider struggle, you know, called Occupy, and that we're speaking to a constituency that is occupying Wall Street. But we must remember that the struggle is not just based in the United States of America, and it's not just in Nigeria and Africa. We are confronted with a global struggle. We're confronted with a global system. We're confronted with imperialism. That is what is happening to us today. And for those of us in Africa, we're confronted directly by neo-colonialism, which is a new kind of colonialism. And that's why you have the Obama government, a so-called black man, a so-called African, firmly in support of the neo-colonial regime in Nigeria. Why do we have that? Because it is a client state. The Nigerian state is a client state of imperialism. And that's why they continue to take orders from the IMF and the World Bank. They're both in this together. And so for those of us who are against any of these systems, we've got to understand and recognize that we confront one of the same coin. And so, when in the US, when in the United States, you want to occupy Wall Street, you need to be clear that you are not asking for reforms of the system, but that you are asking for a destruction of the system. We need to bring this system down. The amount of reform will change this beast. It is the nature of the beast. And this beast is, you know, it has multiple arms. So in only killing one leg of it or one arm, it's not going to help us. You are in the belly of the beast. We are in the backyard of the beast. And we need to make sure we take it down from the back, from the front, inside the belly, Too often, some of us are focused on our own individual struggles, and that's why we have not been able to defeat this beast. And so I really feel privileged standing here where there is, you know, a joining, a coming together of two struggles across the Atlantic to begin to identify and understand the real nature of the beast. And I'd like to say, you know, that we need to keep up this alliance. We need to keep up this solidarity. This is what people's power is all about. We gain strength from your struggle as you gain strength from our struggle, because we have a common enemy and we need to focus and continue our struggle. The Nigerian regime has taken us, in fact, like all the other neo-colonial governments, they've taken us for granted for so long because they know they have their masters to support them, and then they fool the people with divisions of religion, ethnicity, you know, gender, all this rubbish that they come to the people with. But enough is enough. And our people's eyes, you know, our people are becoming clearer that there are not a multiple groups in Nigeria. There are only two groups in Nigeria: the oppressors and the oppressed. And so that battle is important. So I just thank you so much for being out here with us today, as we will also be pleased to stand with you anytime, any day, and to know that Aluta continua, Victoria Asata. Good evening and greetings. Thank you.
When you hear a powerful speech like this, you get energized, and you want to fight more. You want to go after the beast. You know, I promise that I'm going for the behind of the beast. And some of you have to go for the stomach of the beast. Some of you have to go for the face of the beast. Some of you have to go for the arm of the beast. Some of you have to go for the leg of the beast. We must wrestle down this international greedy beast that is destroying us and destroying you. It is high time that the Atlantic Ocean begin to serve the cause of justice and freedom, because for too long that ocean has been used as a means of transporting slaves and commodities that are robbed from the other side of the Atlantic. Now that one-way traffic is about to become a two-way traffic. Just as you have been taking our resources, now we are bringing you freedom too. Throwing energy each other, and very soon the beast will fall into the Atlantic Ocean. On this note, I just want to tell you all that you have been the greatest. You are the best people now, and I can trust you one more, Americans. I used to be afraid because you know how it is. But now I'm beginning to regain my trust back, and we'll be very great brothers again. And we invite you not only to share our agony and pain, and you should also share our culture, share our food. All right? Let's just embrace each other, and I encourage you to just hang around and mingle, you know, talk more on how we can defeat the beast and have a united world of justice, fairness, and equity. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
One more thing before you leave. Here is the trick. Here is the trick. The Boko Haram, the Islamic movement bombing, in the north, okay, some of the states in the north, is what they were focusing on. And then they slipped on us by removing the subsidy. You know, the idea was, so let people focus on the bombing. Okay, that was the idea. So people focus on the bombing, so they wouldn't pay attention to the government policies that was going on. And we did that, it backfired. So the entire nation now is in the street, especially in the Lagos area, the north, Benin area, and other parts. So please, we still encourage you to support us. Other areas you can go to get additional information. It's Nyc-Republicreporters.com, SaharaReporters.com, Elombe.com, Nigerian Village Square. These are online news agencies. They give information. WhoOnline.com. All these online, you get more information if you publish. These are Twitter, our Facebook, and many other capacities. You know, our iPod, we use them. So we use the gadgets and it helps us to pass information. So please, we are here to stay and we're going to continue with the struggle until our people are free. Either we stay together or we divide it so we can go back to our regions. www.com, Republicreport.com for the Reporters, or www.SaharaReporters.com, or www.elombe.com, or www.NigerianVillage-Square, or www.www.whoonline.com, and there are many others as well. So Pointblank.com, Pointblank News, and many others. So you can go there to get more news on what is happening directly from the people, what you call citizen journalists or citizen writers. We don't have to wait for the mainstream writers, we have to report ourselves, like he mentioned. So that's what we're doing. We're going to continue this, and we're going to be Mr. Sahara already. Mr. Sahara, okay, he's the publisher, okay, and also publish Republicreport.com, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we encourage you to join us, to support us in what we are doing. It's a struggle that's already started. It's a global movement, and we want you to focus on Nigeria at this point in time. So what's going to happen, we have no idea how it's going to turn out. What happened in Egypt, they have no idea how it's going to turn out. What happened in Libya, no one has an idea how it will end up. What happened in Tunis and many other countries, and now it's happening in 150 million people in what is called Nigeria. How it will end up, we have no idea. But the question remains, the people are suffering, and the elite continue to loot the resources of our nation. There's a lot of crude oil, a lot of gas, but yet there's no light. They mentioned that. There's no road. The school system has collapsed. There's no school system whatsoever. The universities, what you call universities, are already like primary schools. 25 primary schools. The equipment are not there. There's no library, there's no water, there is nothing of a population.
On Saturday, please, there's going to be another march in front of the United Nations by another group of Nigerians at 12 noon to continue the fight, to continue the struggle. Why are we taking on the United Nations? They were the first to go to Nigeria president and endorse the removal of the so-called subsidy. They commended him and said what he did is fine. But they are still going to learn that the United Nations is no longer united. And the new United Nations is the Occupy movement of us, all of us.
In addition to that, the IMF and World Bank plan their agents around the world. That's what they do. In Nigeria, they have what they call their finance minister, but he's an agent of World Bank. Okay, he was a former director. He resigned, and then he came over there to run their program. So by the time she left, then the IMF, boss, Christine Lagarde, went over and she was there before a week or two, they removed the subsidy. So we think they're following the directives on IMF and World Bank, and that's going to happen. That's how our people are suffering. They did it in Haiti, it failed. In Jamaica, it failed. It failed in this country. It failed around the world. IMF has never done anything good anywhere. No. If you got a point, I can't see it. World Bank has never helped you. No. The bank share has collapsed. You and I know that. So this is the problem that we face at this point in time. And we encourage you to go to monitor what is happening back home, what you call Nigeria, and to see what we're going to be doing. Like he said, we're going to be at the United Nations, and that will be tomorrow. We're going to question the UN, the territory of the United Nations, whether we are together or we are divided. So that's what we'll be doing. So again, thank you so much for all your support. Please check those websites for your information. I'm going to support you as well. Let's share energy. All right?